Very Next Thing Tour.
You're one step away from surrender, one step away from coming home.
With special guest Danny Goki.
There's a road in front of me. Tell your heart to beat again.
And Unspoken.
Start a fire in my soul.
Join Casting Crowns for the Very Next Thing Tour, performing songs from their latest album, The Very Next Thing, as well as all your favorite Casting Crowns hits.
Living he loved you, dying he saved.
Casting Crowns, The Very Next Thing Tour with Danny Goki and Unspoken. It's an evening you won't want to miss.
Get your tickets now to see Casting Crowns, Danny Goki, and Unspoken at the SIU Arena on Good Friday, April 14th. Tickets are on sale now, and buy them on our website at wvyn.org.
Real Life Radio, 90.9 The Vine.
90.9 The Vine, in conjunction with AreaSports.net, proudly presents The Sports Couch. The Sports Couch is the area's only locally produced weekly sports show that is live on FM radio and also streamed live on both of our websites at AreaSports.net and WVYN.org. Who will be on the couch this morning? Let's find out. The Sports Couch is on the air right now. And good morning again, sports fans. It is 8:30. It's time for 90 minutes of great local sports talk. We call it the Sports Couch. I'm Randy Olson, live in studio along with Danny Anselment, and got rain threatening in the area, which might play a little havoc on some of the high school baseball and softball games that are scheduled in the area today. But a lot to talk about in sports, Danny. You got the NCAA tournament going on. We're down to the Elite Eight. Some surprises there, a couple of Cinderellas into that. And we're going to have some interesting coaches on the show with us today. We're actually going to have a 9-year-old girl that's going to be in studio with us today, along with her parents as well. And this is going to be an interesting conversation. Rayci Phelps has reached the national level in the Elks Hoop Shoot.
Yeah, you know, Randy, this is quite a story. This young lady here is doing some amazing things, and it's going to be really nice to have her in studio here this morning. She's kind of a quiet, shy girl, so I'm not sure how much we're going to get out of her, but her mother and dad are very excited.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll also talk a little bit about the NCAA tournament, of course. Again, as we're down to the Elite Eight now, we'll talk about some spring training baseball at Cardinals and maybe a little bit on the Cubs as well. We've also got a couple of all-Southern Illinois coaches that are going to be joining us this morning, and ironically, they're both from Hamilton County. Golf coach Terry Aud, who's an all-South coach in golf, and also Jason Hall, who's all-South in volleyball. It's pretty exciting to have both of them on, too.
Yeah, you know, it's pretty amazing that both those guys had a great season at the same year and same time, and then they both get to be Coach of the Year in golf and volleyball. So quite an honor for those gentlemen. We want to recognize them a little bit here this morning also.
One of the area high school baseball coaches, Billy Rogers from the Fairfield Mules, he's going to join us on the show. They are supposed to play a doubleheader today over at Bridgeport at Red Hill High School. Not sure if they'll get that in or not, but they're headed that way. And we'll join him live and direct from the school bus this morning.
Big yellow bus conversation.
As they make their way over there to Bridgeport for that doubleheader that they got scheduled today, as the Mules have gotten, 6 or 7 games in so far. We'll talk to him about how the season's going. We're going to begin our conversation this morning, though, with a sports writer from the Kentucky New Era, and that is Chris Jung. He's going to be joining us here in just a few moments after we run through some scores here for you from our website at AreaSports.net. Chris is a sports writer for the Kentucky New Era, and he wrote a great article, Danny, about the dismissal of Gus Gillespie, who has been the longtime head boys basketball coach down at Marshall County, Kentucky, where he has had an impeccable record down there coaching the Marshalls. And, of course, a lot of people remember Gus Gillespie as an assistant coach under Doug Creel at Mount Vernon several years ago. And then when Gus, entered the head coaching ranks himself, he's been nothing but successful all along the way. He had 4 very successful years at Robinson, including a storied trip to the state tournament. He went, I think, 92-33 up there at Robinson. And then he had 1 year at Centralia where he went 22-8. And while he's been at Marshall County, he's done nothing but win 21 or more games 11 of the 13 years.
This high school coaching situation is out of control. I don't know what people are expecting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the expectations are. When you have good guys, good gentlemen, good role models, and they run a successful program, where do you think you're going to make changes and make it better?
Right.
I guess I don't understand the thought process here.
Yeah.
And the parents are getting to be a major problem in this factor.
Mm-hmm.
All this travel basketball is leading people to believe that their kids are ready for the NCAA tournament. You would think some of these high school kids would be playing in the Final Four next weekend.
Right.
And it's creating a lot of havoc in high school sports. It's going to get to the point that you're not going to get good people to take these jobs for what these jobs pay.
Yeah.
Most of these jobs pay around $5,000.
Stipend, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you just think about this, folks. $5,000, and these guys start the 1st of November and run into February. You think about all the hours of practice time,
and that's,
bus travel.
And that's just the season. That doesn't count the conditioning and things they do in the summertime.
That's right. And they're doing this all for $5,000.
Yeah.
My question is, would you do it for that?
Yeah, and especially having the pressure of parents and things like that. But we don't know any reason why Gus was let go. It was kind of a surprise to a lot of people. People are shaking their heads as to why in the world would you let someone go, dismiss him of their duties as coach when he's been so successful. So we're going to visit with Chris Jung in just a little bit from the Kentucky New Era newspaper down there and kind of get his input on that. So that's coming up here in just a moment. But first, Danny, you have got scores to run through.
Well, I will.
Some baseball scores here.
I will if I get them back up here.
All right. And also in the NCAA tournament last night, we can run through some scores of that as well. On tap today, we got a couple of big games. Xavier's going to play Gonzaga in one Elite Eight game, and Oregon's going to take on Kansas. After games last night, you had North Carolina beat Butler 92-80. You had South Carolina beat Baylor 70-50. So you've got both South Carolina and Xavier in as certainly Cinderellas. Kentucky wins over UCLA last night 86-75, and in overtime it was Florida over Wisconsin 84-83. And in high school baseball, Danny?
High school scores from yesterday. The Benton Rangers defeat Carmine-White County 4-0. Breeze Central 5, Staunton 3. Charleston 12, Newton 1. Cobden 8, Carrier Mills 5. Effingham 12, Altamont 2. Gallatin County defeats Galatia 14-8. Goreville in a pitcher's duel over Massac 1-0. Harrisburg shuts out El Dorado 1-0. Johnson City 4, Crab Orchard 2. Nashville 11, Greenville 1. North Clay 6, Windsor 4. Olney 1, Flora 0. Pleasant Plains 5, Carterville 4. Salem 12, Heron 0. T-Town 10, LaSalle Peru 5. Waterloo 12, Trenton Westland 4. And a good battle down at Hamilton County yesterday. Wayne City defeats Hamilton County 2-1. On Thursday, Fairfield beat Mount Carmel 11-6. T-Town over Casey Westfield 9-0. Waterloo 13, New Athens 8. So that's some scores from around the area on Thursday and Friday.
Okay, and you can go back and see scores all the way back all week long, back as far as Monday and even last week with high school baseball scores on there as well on our sports website at AreaSports.net. And as I said, later on the show, we'll visit with baseball coach Billy Rogers of the Fairfield Mules, who are scheduled to take on Red Hill Salukis today in a doubleheader. But as we were teasing you a moment ago, we want to talk a little bit about this situation going on down at Marshall County, Kentucky, where Gus Gillespie, the head coach down there, was relieved of his duties. He's been the head coach down there for 13 years, and 11 of those 13 years he's won 21 or more games, which is just a phenomenal record. I mean, you're winning, 72% of your games. He's made it to the Sweet 16 a couple of times, and, of course, we know what he did here in Illinois at Robinson for 4 years and what he did at Centralia for that 1 year. And, of course, he was former assistant coach under Doug Creel at Mount Vernon, and a lot of us know Gus and Jana and family real well, and so we're all kind of stunned by this. Well, there is a sports director down at the Kentucky New Era who wrote a fantastic article on this in just the last day or so, and that's Chris Jung, and he joins us on the phone right now on the Sports Couch. Good morning, Chris. How are you?
Excellent, Randy. I'm actually I'm doing some multitasking this morning. I'm actually talking to you while I'm doing a Run for Your Buns 5K walk. It's I'll give a little plug here.
Okay.
It's colorectal cancer month in the month of March, and so they encourage folks to schedule colon cancer screenings. I actually lost my mom to the disease about 4 years ago. So it's a good thing for your listeners to be sure they're taking care of themselves and scheduling screenings. So I figured you probably wouldn't start off a show like that or with a guest like that. So there's my plug for the morning.
Hey, that's all. Hey, that's all right. And you know what? Everybody does need to get a colonoscopy. Absolutely. I firmly agree with that and believe in that. No doubt about it. But, Chris, it's great to have you on the show. And, hey, I really, really enjoyed your article that you wrote earlier this week on the dismissal of Gus Gillespie down there as head coach of Marshall County. And you had a lot of statistics and things in there. And you, like all of us up here in Illinois, are kind of shaking your head trying to figure out what happened, right?
I am, and and I wrote in the column, and I'll provide full disclosure as we begin this conversation this morning. But when I kind of broke into the world of sports writing about the time that Gus was taking the job at Marshall County, he was one of the first big coaches I had a chance to work with and kind of cut my teeth with in the industry. And like you mentioned, with him and his family, it's about as nice of a guy as you could come in contact with, especially when it comes to sports and all the things that he's responsible for. But, I haven't been there in many years. He and I have remained in touch, and I've watched from afar as he's had some really nice success. And some of the things he mentioned, winning, 293 games all time, which is the most in Marshall County history, and taking that team to a couple state tournaments. The guy has done nothing but have success, and then on top of that, he's churned out teams that have great kids that are well respected in the community, who get good grades. He's just been a phenomenal coach, not just in the win department, but off the court as well. So when the news came out that they wanted to find somebody different and have new leadership, it was a little stunning, and that's why I decided to write the column.
Yeah, well, it was an excellent column, and we appreciate it, and it's been happy to share it with other people here, and that's why we wanted to have you on the show this morning, because we're all kind of puzzled as to what's happening. And Danny joins me here in studio, and Danny, you and I were talking off mic a moment ago about how things have just changed so much, and it seems like there's so much problems coaching at the high school level today because you have parents and other people involved that really make it tough on coaches, right?
Yeah, this high school coaching situation is turned into a nightmare, actually. It's unbelievable, some of the things. A guy got dismissed last year who won 82% of his games, and they said they wanted to go a different direction. What direction's left to go?
Yeah.
Well, and I even kind of posed that question, guys. I said, if Gus Gillespie is not deserving of that position, then who the heck is? Because, like I mentioned, you got a guy that's been, like, combined success on the court, but success off the floor. And as you guys might have followed too and remembered, he also dealt with a bout of a immense personal tragedy in his family, as you can go through.
Mm-hmm.
Watching his son pass away from an inoperable brain tumor at 8 years old. That was devastating. And for him to traverse that and still find a way to have success and to really rally not just his kids but the community as well, it was an amazing thing to watch. So it's just I don't know, it's a weird situation. And I think you guys both hit it on the head in that the landscape has changed and the high school sports landscape has changed, and unfortunately it's become more about politics and really, if you're not in line with a new administration or the right people, sometimes even if you have had success, that doesn't go a long way anymore. So it's an unfortunate thing. and I'll be very curious to see who they think is more worthy to step into that position.
Well, it's going to be pretty tough for someone to step in that position, fill those shoes, certainly with the success that Gus has had down there and how well that he is liked in the community as well. And, you know, I mean, again, it's not just the X's and O's and the wins on the court, but what he's done in building character and great young men who come through the program because, you know, during his tenure that he's been down there, you can look back at many of the players that he's had, and you can see the kind of citizens and husbands that they have become after going through his program.
Exactly, and that's kind of what I wrote about, is the fact that I think we really, and I don't mean to talk about anybody in particular, but I think in general as a society, we've really gotten away from what should be important, and you know, at the end of the day, prep athletics, it's not a business yet. I mean, we're not. I know that some schools might bank on championships and success on the floor or field or whatever it might be for enrollment or for, you know, numbers when it comes to students. But ultimately, high school sports should be about relationships and about developing young men and young women and encouraging people to get better at communicating and at teamwork and developing skills that are going to help you all the way through life. I mean, that's what we should be worrying about, and that's what coaches' jobs, in my opinion, should be. I mean, you should be having to worry about taking care of your kids and putting them in a position to succeed in life and making sure that they're going to be good husbands and good wives and good fathers and good mothers, and Gus has been doing that. He's been succeeding in that role, and the kids, I mean, you'd be blown away if I showed you the log of emails and texts and tweets and Facebook messages I received yesterday, many of which came from his former players who were just stunned by the news because they enjoyed the experience that you guys have been describing in terms of what a true coach should be doing. You know, that was probably the neatest part for me yesterday, was to hear from a lot of those players and hear their concern over the decision as well.
Well, you know, it makes you wonder what the thought process here is, because like you said, when you have a guy that's well respected like this gentleman is, and it just makes you really wonder. But this high school basketball, I broadcast games all over Southern Illinois, and you just sit and listen to people talk and the things that go on in the stands, and it's pretty amazing some of the thought process of some of these people. It's kind of disheartening to me to hear people. You know, I had a pretty good career at Hamilton County, and if I would have ever went home and said anything about the coach or complained about something with the basketball, my dad would have just said, "Hey, we can fix this problem. You don't enjoy it, you don't have fun. Turn your stuff in, come home, and we'll go work."
Exactly. I tell people that all the time, and sometimes I feel like I age myself a little bit by saying this, but you know, I remember a time when I came home as a high school football player and told my parents that I was disgusted about the amount of playing time I was getting and that they weren't giving me any opportunities or looks. And my dad simply said, "Work harder." And that was the end of the conversation. Mm-hmm. I mean, he said, "Just work harder." Nowadays, I feel like if that conversation occurs and a high school student athlete comes home and voices a similar displeasure or complaint, the parents are going to go straight to the coach.
Oh, no. That's not where they go first. The first place we go is social media.
That's actually probably a good point. Yeah, it's a great tool, but it can also be pretty dangerous in that regard. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the point's the same. I mean, there's not a lot of accountability anymore, and that's kind of a shame.
Yeah, well, and don't you think too, Chris, that because we have so much travel ball right now, you know, we have these other leagues, this travel ball, that's almost created a monster, and that, you know, parents are of the belief that their son and their daughter are going to be the next pro athlete, next college scholarship athlete, next pro athlete, when only, a fraction of 1% of all high school athletes, ever get a full college tuition scholarship, let alone turn pro, but yet they think their son or daughter is the one, and as a result, if their son or daughter isn't getting the playing time, they wreak havoc on the situation.
Sure. And let me say, I don't have children, so I can't sit here and say I'm any kind of expert when it comes to parenting. I feel like I have a pretty good grasp on it. I do have some nieces and nephews that I like to act over my own children, but I think that there's a line. I don't think there's anything wrong with being proud of your son or daughter, or believing that they can do good things or big things or have success. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But when you take it to an unhealthy level and it begins to hurt the relationships with that person's teammates or with their coaches, or when it crosses over into kind of a toxic situation, that's when it gets pretty sad to see that it goes too far. Now, let me say this too. High school basketball in Kentucky is life for a lot of people, and I get it. I mean, in my opinion, we have one of the most unique situations and setups of anywhere in the country. I believe we're still the only state remaining that has a single class high school basketball tournament, which means any school, whether it's 3,000 kids or 100 kids, plays each other in a Sweet 16 format at Rupp Arena in Lexington, where the University of Kentucky plays, and it's a big deal. Mm-hmm. So I get the fact that people are clamoring to get back there because it's a pride thing. It's it's going to help with your community morale. But I just think that we're placing emphasis too much on things like that. And again, going back to the fact that we're not placing enough emphasis on the things we should be placing it on.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, the photo that I have of you that's up on the screen right now, you're in an arena someplace. Where's that photo taken at?
That's actually from Rupp Arena, from the state tournament last week, and had a chance to. I've been very fortunate in my job in the 3 years I've been working for the newspaper here in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. The city here, for 16 years in a row, has sent one of the three schools right here within a 5-mile radius as the regional representative at the state tournament. So I've got a chance every year to go cover one of those teams, and a lot of tradition in the western part of the state. Marshall County certainly falls into that category, and that is why so many people kind of have a stake in it and are asking questions and are wondering what's next for the Marshall County program.
Right, exactly. Well, you certainly can't argue with the success that Gus Gillespie has had down at Marshall County, coaching the Marshalls. As you say, he won 21 or more games in 11 of the 13 seasons. Are you hearing anything at all as far as any reason as to why he was dismissed? I mean, obviously it has to be something political, or somebody's got a burr up their butt, or it's a personal vendetta. It's got to be something like that, because based upon his performance, you can't dismiss a guy for that. Are you hearing anything at all, Chris?
The only thing that I continue to hear, and this was voiced again last night by somebody that's pretty close to Gus, and I won't say whom, but all they said was he was simply told we're going in a different direction, and that we want new leadership, and that was it.
Wow.
So when it's that general, and there's really no specific reason given, and it's I don't know, that starts to get the wheels turning. That maybe the person that's doing the hiring is just ready to bring in their own person or their own group. I don't know. It's there are people that are asking that same question you're having.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah. Well, the crazy thing about it is Gus was not just successful down in Marshall County. He was successful here in Illinois as well. I mean, in Robinson as head coach for 4 years, he took a team to state finals, and went 92-33 in his 4 seasons there. So that's like 80% winning percentage. One season at Centralia, he was 22-8, and that, of course, is a very serious basketball town. So, I mean, he's been a winner. He's been successful everywhere he's been. I mean, the guy knows how to coach.
He does, and I'm actually a Belleville, Illinois boy.
How are you?
Originally. That's
Okay.
where I was grew up and was born in St. Louis, and both my parents went to Belleville Althoff, and so I'm well aware of the great tradition of high school basketball in that area.
Yeah.
And knew when he was hired that this wasn't just a guy that was coming in willy-nilly and didn't have a clue what he was doing. I mean, he already had a great track record, great history, great record, and I'll admit that there were some people that I don't think were completely bought in when Gus came to Marshall County. They had no clue who he was, and sometimes when it comes to Kentucky, specifically Western Kentucky, if you're not a person that has a reputation or that has history here, you're sometimes not accepted right away.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it took him a little bit of time to kind of find his groove and to really convince people of what he could do. Well, like you mentioned, I think he won maybe 17 games his first year, and that kind of raises some eyebrows. But then the guy comes in and rattles off, I think, 10 straight 20-win seasons or more. Takes two teams to the state tournament, loses in two regional championship games that would have meant two more trips to the state tournament. I mean, there's some teams that haven't been to Rupp Arena in 15, 20 years.
Oh, yeah.
He was knocking on the door to take this group 4 different times. And I'll tell you, the one thing I continue to hear from people yesterday also, the reason that they liked Gus so much is because, yes, in years that he had talent, he won. But the most impressive thing was in the years when he didn't have talent, he still won because he just knew how to bring kids together. He knew what buttons to push. He knew and understood how to talk to these guys and get the most out of them.
Right.
And that's probably been one of the most impressive traits about Gus Gillespie when it comes to coaching basketball.
Yeah, he knew how to put the players in a position to have a chance of winning, and that's all you can ask of a coach, is to give your kids a chance to win, and that's what he was able to do. Yep, I agree.
Yeah, he really was, and he ended up winning, I think, 71% of his games.
Yeah,
I mean that's a pretty remarkable statistic.
That is incredible. That is incredible.
Coaching over 400 games and winning that many of them. So.
Yeah. Hey, real quick before we let you go, I'm going to assume that since you've been in Kentucky for a number of years now, you're probably a Kentucky Wildcat fan. Is that true or not?
Hey, in my job, I'm a fan of everybody. Right?
You talk about he's a politician too.
I gotta be diplomatic in this job.
Well, okay.
We have so many folks that root for different teams.
Yeah.
And, that follow different teams, and it's impossible for me to root for one. So I put myself squarely in the middle, and I root for good games and good matchups. But I certainly have followed the success of the Kentucky Wildcats for sure. And like I said, I was at Rupp Arena last week, and I'll tell you what, those guys are playing about as well as anybody in the country right now. And after last night, the UCLA game, I don't know if anybody can beat Kentucky when Fox and Monk are on their game.
Yeah, although Kansas sure looked good the other night against Purdue. So if it comes down to those guys, that could be quite a matchup.
Isn't it amazing, though, when you talk about the NCAA tournament, and every year we're like, 68 teams or whatever it is.
Right.
This is really we're gonna see some new blood, and somebody's gonna make a run. And then you look up, the late into the second weekend of the tournament, and look who's left. I mean, it's North Carolina, it's Kentucky, it's Kansas.
Yep.
It's programs that are proven and have experienced coaches, and there's something to be said for that. When at the end of the day, and granted, those teams have great recruits and great talent, so I understand. But it's just pretty amazing that every year, no matter what happens, you're typically going to have those blue bloods still standing. And I know that there's plenty of UK fans in this part of the state and within my coverage area who are ready to hang a ninth banner, and they're certainly poised to do that now. It should be a good couple more weeks of basketball.
Yeah, and those of us who are Michigan State fans, we can just say wait till next year, right, with our recruiting class that we had this year and what we got coming next year, we hope. So, but anyway, hey, it's been – yeah, go ahead.
Izzo is a – man, what a phenomenal coach he is. Talk about a guy that every year you have to respect Michigan State in the tournament because – he always seems to have those guys playing at the right time.
He does, and he didn't have quite as much talent this year, and he had really young guys, but he got something out of them, so it was fun to watch him anyway this year. It sure was. Hey, Chris, it's been fun having you on the phone this morning. We got to move on along here with some other guests, but we appreciate your time, and best of luck with your walk there today too. I think that's phenomenal what you're doing there, and again, we appreciate you coming on the phone with us today, and enjoy your weekend. Okay.
It was my pleasure, Randy, anytime, and have a great weekend as well.
Okay. Take care now. All righty. Bye-bye. That's Chris Jung. He is a sports writer for the Kentucky New Era, and he's just as puzzled as we all are about what's going on with the dismissal of Gus Gillespie.
You're going to probably have some more of that. Dave Brown resigned mysteriously at Marion the other night.
Mm-hmm.
Not hearing much out of that camp, what went on there, why that took place.
Yeah.
So, going to be a lot of changes.
Yeah. You got some other baseball scores. You can go back a little bit farther. We gave you scores from Thursday and Friday. Again, you can see those on our sports website at AreaSports.net. But if we go back to Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we can look at baseball scores. And then we're going to get Coach Billy Rogers of the Fairfield Mules on the phone with us here in a moment.
All right. Some scores from Wednesday. Breeze Central beat Salem 3-2. Alvarado 18, Sparta 14. Marion beat Carterville 6-5. Pinckneyville defeated Hamilton County 13-5. Woodlawn over Ziegler Royal to Christopher 6-2. Waterloo defeated Mount Vernon 2-1 in 8 innings. On Tuesday, some area scores. Flora beat Fairfield 8-5. Mount Vernon beat Triad in extra innings 5-4. Redbud over Chester 9-2. St. Anthony 11, Robinson 0. Trico defeated Oakville, 17-7. West Frankfort beat Johnson City 8-7. Benton beat Fairfield 5-4 on Monday, and Carterville over Heron 4-3.
All right. Again, you can see those baseball scores posted on our sports website at AreaSports.net, and we're going to bring in one of those baseball coaches right now. He's the head coach of the Fairfield Mules. They're on their way to Bridgeport to take on the Red Hill Salukis today in a doubleheader, weather permitting. That's Billy Rogers. Billy, how you doing this morning?
Hey, doing great, Randy. How are you guys?
Great. Good to have you on the sports couch again, and you're on your way there to Bridgeport to take on the Salukis today for a doubleheader. And tell us how the season. Go ahead. Yeah, play 2 today. That's right. Tell us how the season's going so far for the Mules.
Not too bad for us. We're 4-4 right now. We started off 3-0. Been hit a little bit of a skid. Lost to some tough teams in there. Christopher Ziegler, Royalton. We dropped one to Benton 5-4. Lost to Flora 8-5. We had the lead in both of those games. So kind of took one on the chin there.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, things are going well. We finally got back in the win column Thursday against Mount Carmel. Had freshman Michael Garrett went on the mound, went the distance, and got the 11-6 win. So we're getting the ship turned in the right direction.
Well, as I look through the scores here, the one thing I do notice is the Mules are scoring runs. So even when you're losing, you're scoring runs.
Yeah, 11 seems to be the magic number. In our 4 wins this year, we scored 11 runs in 3 of them. So if we score 11, we're in good shape, Randy.
Yeah. Well, and that tough loss to Benton, you lost 5-4. Well, first of all, Benton's got a great baseball program, so losing to Benton is not anything to be ashamed of. But it sounds like that was quite a game with the Rangers. Talk about that one.
Yeah, we look pretty solid down there. Coach Blondie does a great job down there. He's got a wonderful program. We went down there 2 years ago, Randy, and they just handed it to us. And after the game, I told my kids this time, I said, guys, in 2 years, that's where we want to be. We want that kind of program. So here we are 2 years later, and we go down there, and we were up 4-0 on them.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a couple of misplays in the field, and they managed to take advantage of those things. and we came up on the short end of the 5-4 ball game. But it just shows where our program is compared to where it used to be, and the improvement in the program, and the we not me attitude is taking over, and positive things are happening.
Oh, great. Well, obviously you got a shutout win also earlier this year over Woodlawn, 5-0, so you must have got a good pitching performance in that game. Tell us about it.
Yeah, we had a nice start to the season. We put our number one on the mound for that game, Mason Barrett. He's a senior this year, and he did a great job, worked the strike zone, kept the ball down. And, that's the big thing. If you keep the ball down, you're going to be successful. And he kept the ball down. He sprinkled in a few strikeouts. Our defense was successful that game. It was like no errors. And, of course, it doesn't hurt that Woodlawn just got finished playing basketball.
Yeah.
So that helped us out. But, yeah, 5-0 win against them. Get things rolling. And we looked pretty good. We've had some struggles with the mound. Of course, the new pitch count rule, which I don't know any coach is happy with it. But it kind of come back to bite us a little bit. Our number 2 pitcher, Caleb Smothers, another one of my seniors, he's been ill, and they had him in and out of the hospital trying to get him lined out. So my number 2 pitcher has only thrown 3 innings in the 8 games that we've played.
Wow.
And that makes it rough on a pitching staff, because now you're asking your relievers that are used to throwing 20 to 30 innings a game to step into a starter role and try to give you 60 to 70 pitches, and it's not what they're designed for. And so it makes it rough.
Danny?
Well, the weather may be pretty iffy for your games up there today. It'll be interesting to see if you can get those 2 games in up there today.
Yeah, the bad part is we were supposed to play the first game at 10 o'clock this morning. Red Hill called us yesterday and said, hey, let's start it at 11 instead. That way it gives us a little extra hour of daylight to kind of see what's going on with the weather. Well, ironically, had we started at 10 o'clock, we would have had time to get both of them in. But since we're starting at 11, now it looks like we're going to get rained out of that second one.
Yeah. Well,
That's the way my luck usually goes.
Yeah. Well, talk about that pitch count situation again, because everybody's facing that this year, and you've already alluded to the fact that it's been kind of a struggle for you, and probably is with the other coaches. And how have you been managing that? Tell us about that.
First of all, we're fortunate. Out of the 21 guys I have on my roster, 12 of them can pitch, which is a good luxury to have.
Wow.
But the thing is, whenever you're trying to dance around this pitch count, the setup is this, fellas: 30 pitches or fewer, the player can come back and pitch on a consecutive day. So he can come back tomorrow if he throws 30 or fewer today. If he throws 31 to 45 pitches, he has to have 1 full day rest before pitching again. Then it goes 46 to 60. He has to have 2 days. 61 to 75. He has to have 3 days. 76 to 90. He has to have 4 days rest. And then 91 to 115, he has to have 5 days rest. Now, at the high school level, most of the time, if you have a number 1 that is solid, you're going to pitch him on a Monday, and you'll let him go 75 to 80 pitches, maybe more, and you bring him back on a Friday. Well, you can't really do that anymore. Now you have to wait till Saturday to bring him back, and so your rotation slows down.
Right.
So that being the case, you have to have a bullpen. You have to have inning eaters that are going to come in and give you 1 inning or 2 innings, 30 to 40 pitches, and then they'll sit for a day, and you have to have somebody to fill that spot the next day. And it's tough. You have to find out who your pitchers are really quickly.
Yeah, I heard a coach this morning talking, and he said this new pitch count, instantly every kid on my team's a pitcher.
Yeah, he's not kidding. I mean, that's the way it is. And I think what we'll see in the future, guys, is a lot of teams will only schedule about 22, 23 games a year, and then make sure they play them all. They'll have plenty of reschedule dates. Because us, for example, we played 4 games in week 1, 6 games in week 2. So we have 10 games in 12 days. So try managing a pitch count situation when you have 10 games in 12 days.
Yeah, that's a nightmare.
Yeah, so I could see a lot of schools really cutting back. You're going to set up a maximum of 3 games a week so that you can get your number 1 out there maybe twice every week.
Yeah.
Well, Good luck up at Red Hill today. We appreciate you taking time from the big yellow bus to join us here this morning, and hopefully the weather will cooperate and let you get a couple games in up there today, and we'll talk to you a little further on down the road about your Fairfield Mules.
Guys, I appreciate you having me on. I enjoy listening to you. You guys have a good day and go Mules.
All right, Billy. Thank you so much. Good luck.
Yeah, man.
Okay, bye-bye. Billy Rogers, head baseball coach of the Fairfield Mules, going to try to get a couple in today against the Salukis, and yeah, he makes some really valid points there about this pitch count situation.
Oh, yeah, this pitch count deal is quite a deal right now. I heard Brett Blondie this morning from the Benton Rangers talking, and he was talking about their team got invited to go over to Belleville to kind of some major showcase where there was 40 or 50 teams over there playing this week in baseball, and he said they'd already played a couple games, and then they called and invited them. And he said, you're going over there where there's a lot of college coaches and scouts there to watch these kids, and you'd like to be able to put your best foot forward. And my number 1, number 2, and number 3 pitchers have already thrown their pitch count for the week. And he said, I can't throw those kids over there in front of some scouts that could be looking at them to see about possible recruiting to give them another chance to play college baseball. And he said, it's really creating havoc. He said it's instantly turned every player on my team into a pitcher. He said everybody's up for pitching duty now. He said a kid comes in the door, the first question you ask him is, you think you could pitch?
Yeah, exactly. Well, it'll be interesting to see if the IHSA decides to, tweak things a little bit going into next year, because they're certainly going to get a lot of feedback after this season from baseball coaches as well as athletic directors. And so we'll see what happens moving forward.
I will give the IHSA, I'm one of their biggest critics.
Mm-hmm.
This come from the National Federation of High School Sports is where this all originated from.
All right.
And it's across the nation. They're trying to work on this. So this wasn't just an IHSA deal. Usually they're the ringleader on things like this.
Well, I think Billy Rogers a moment ago made a good point that I think you will see teams start changing their scheduling habits and maybe not schedule as many games but leave enough, off dates in between to reschedule games in case of rain.
I hear they're thinking about going and presenting something in golf. They may be swinging the club too much.
Oh, yeah. Have somebody swings in golf?
Yeah.
Wonder what Terry Aud would think about that.
I don't know. Maybe you ought to ask him.
Yeah, he is All-South golf coach from Hamilton County. He joins us right now. Good morning, Terry. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Well, just fine. Did you hear what Danny said there?
I heard that. We try not to swing the clubs that many times during the match.
Yeah, but he played 67 games or so last year. He's had quite a run there, Terry, and congratulations on your honor of being selected All-South coach with your golf team down there.
Well, thank you very much. It was quite an honor.
Well, you certainly had quite a run with that golf team this year and had some very special players. And I know at least one already has committed to move on and play golf at the next level at Ren Lake College. And boy, when you got good talent like that, that makes your job a lot easier too, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, yes. I've got some guys out there. They get out there and play a lot. And that's all you can ask for during the whole season. They're out there. In fact, I've had kids that have already been out there playing.
Well, talk a little bit about this honor you got, Terry. I know as a coach, that's got to be something that's pretty special to you. And I know you guys don't like to ever brag upon yourselves or anything, but I know the time and the effort and the amount of dedication it takes on your part to provide the leadership for these kids to be successful. And if you wasn't setting a good example and teaching them the techniques and things like that, they wouldn't be having success, and you wouldn't either.
Yeah, I credit my players and their parents. I've got a lot of the parents on of my players that play golf and help out a lot. But yeah, we're out there a lot over the summer. Practicing. I go out and check on them. I make sure they're out there playing, and they are. And basically, as far as that honor, yeah, it pretty much comes down to who has the best golf team, and we definitely had the best golf team in the South this year. I share that with my players. We
were the only one team from Southern Illinois that went to state. The other two was Teotopus and Hillsboro. So, yeah, we represent Southern Illinois very well.
How many of those guys were seniors this year? How many are you going to lose off that team?
I'm just losing Nate Neal. I mean, he's a very, very big loss. The 39 average, got a scholarship to go to Rend Lake.
Mm-hmm.
But I've lost other very good players before, and I told my kids at our fall sports awards banquet, everybody just needs to step up and improve their average, and make up for Nate's loss. And that's what they've done in the past years.
You've been very fortunate with that program, Terry. Like you said, you've just been able to reload and keep things rolling down there, and nobody in Hamilton County is expecting any less. I'm sure everybody's thinking you're just going to keep that ship rolling.
I look to be reloaded next year. We're going to have a very solid team next year. In fact, the next 2 or 3 years, I've got 3 juniors coming back, 3 sophomores, and a freshman from last year's team. So I don't expect any downturn. I look for us to be one of the best, if not the best team in Southern Illinois again this year.
Well, talk about that season. It takes when you play that many games and matches and things like that, it takes quite a bit of travel time and things like that. It occupies you a lot of your spare time, doesn't it?
Yes, it's once I get off work at the post office, I head right out to the golf course, whether it's for practice or a match, or we take off to a away match. So it's pretty hectic during the golf season, but I enjoy it. I've been doing it for 15 years. It's a lot of fun to see the kids playing well, and of course the team we've had the last 10 or 12 years. That makes for a fun season.
Everybody loves a winner, and when you win and continually win, one of the things I thought that you really commented on that is a big factor, Terry. I hear this from a lot of coaches. Behind every good group, there's a better group of parents.
That's right. I've got, like I said before, I've got some parents that, you got to give the parents a lot of credit. Some of the boys and girls that don't have their license, the parents got to make time to get them out there to the golf course. You got to get their golf equipment, and that's not cheap. And, so a big thanks to all my parents, not just this past year, but all the years I had, to just giving their kids an opportunity to play golf.
Well, Terry, we appreciate you joining us here this morning. It's always nice to be able to visit with people when you get a lot of accolades. And I know as a coach, you're more proud about your kids than that, but this is something that should be very special to you, and I know it's something you'll always cherish.
Yes, I do. When I walked up there to get it, I was all smiles. It's nice, and I appreciate you guys having me on the program.
All right, Terry, and best of luck as you prepare for next season, too, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you down the line, okay?
Okay, thanks a lot.
Have a great weekend. All righty, bye-bye. Terry Aud, golf coach at Hamilton County, honored as All-South golf coach in Southern Illinois, and as he mentioned, Danny, one of only 3 teams in Southern Illinois to make it to state.
Yeah, and really a lot of people will say T-Town and Hillsboro we don't really consider Southern Illinois.
Exactly right. You get up north of Interstate 70, it's a different world. But what a great program he's got there, and the cupboard's not bare.
Oh no, I mean he's got a lot of young kids, and it's nice to see that one of his lone senior is going to get to continue his golfing career. I think he had several chances. And he chose Rend Lake College because it was close to home. He wanted his parents to be able to come and see him play.
Yep.
And I think he still wanted to go home and eat at Mom's supper table.
Well, there you go. And they've got a great golf program down there at Rend Lake. They have had in the past, and they've made some noise nationally before. And so maybe he can be a part of that as well. So that's exciting for him. So.
Well, yeah, anytime you can get your education paid for and continue and do something that you love to do, that's just a double bonus.
Absolutely.
And congratulations to Nate Neal getting to move on to that next level.
Yeah. And Hamilton County High School was blessed to have another coach honored with the All-South honors, and that is volleyball coach Jason Hall. And we're going to visit with him next when we come back on the Sports Couch. So stay tuned. We'll be back with more after station identification and a word from some of our underwriting sponsors. We'll be right back.
It's the local sports talk show that everyone is talking about. It's the Sports Couch on 90.9 The Vine and AreaSports.net.
This is your station for the Casting Crowns concert on Good Friday, April 14th at the SIU Arena in Carbondale. This is WVYN, Blueford, Wayne City, Fairfield, McLeansboro, and Mount Vernon.
And now on Translator, W288CO Centralia, broadcasting at 105.5.
A service of Real Life Radio Foundation.
The best Christian music, 90.9 The Vine.
Compassion International and Museum of the Bible present Casting Crowns, The Very Next Thing Tour.
You're one step away from surrender, one step away from coming home.
With special guest Danny Goki.
There's a road in front of me. Tell your heart to beat again.
And Unspoken.
Start a fire in my soul.
Join Casting Crowns for the Very Next Thing Tour, performing songs from their latest album, The Very Next Thing, as well as all your favorite Casting Crowns hits.
Living he loved me, dying he saved.
Casting Crowns, The Very Next Thing Tour with Danny Goki and Unspoken. It's an evening you won't want to miss.
Get your tickets now to see Casting Crowns, Danny Goki, and Unspoken at the SIU Arena on Good Friday, April 14th. Tickets are on sale now, and buy them on our website at wvyn.org.
Looking for window tinting? Look no further than Little Details in Albion. Owner Riker Moore started tinting in 1989 and started Little Details at the end of 1998. Little Details has been doing nothing but tinting for over 18 years. Need to reduce heat, glare, fading, or increase safety, security, or privacy? Little Details can take care of you. Serving the Vine listening area and more with automotive locations in Wayne City, Mount Vernon, Fairfield, Flora, Olney, Centralia, Harrisburg, and Albion. Find them on Facebook. Their phone number 618-231-0230.
Underwriting on the Vine is provided by B&C Bicycle Fitness in Mount Vernon. B&C Bicycle Fitness specializes in bikes for the beginning rider to the high-end racer and can equip you with a comfortable bike to enjoy a healthy, active lifestyle with family and friends. B&C Bicycle Fitness is a full-service bicycle shop and is located at 410 South 27th Street in Mount Vernon. Their phone number is 816-4077. B&C Bicycle Fitness in Mount Vernon, where the adventure begins.
And welcome back to the Sports Couch. You're live on a Saturday morning on 105.5 and 90.9 The Vine Radio, and also streaming live worldwide on both of our websites. We have live video streaming right now at AreaSports.net, live audio streaming at WVYN.org. I'm Randy Olson, live in studio along with Danny Anselment. Another coach from Hamilton County honored with all South honors in his sport, and that would be volleyball coach Jason Hall. Danny, that's another honor, which is pretty exciting, isn't it? Two from the same school.
Yeah, it's very nice honor for these guys. We just talked with Terry Odd, and now Jason's joined us here this morning, and want to send out a big congratulations to Jason, and congratulations on this great honor you received.
How about it, Jason? Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you guys having me on. It's definitely a nice honor to receive the other night.
Yeah, it sure is. And talk about, again, the great season that you had and the special girls that you had this year to make it such a rewarding season for the Lady Foxes.
Well, we did have a great season, and I told the girls when it was announced that I got this award that it was really an award for them, too, because they really made me, the coach. I told them one night, we just got done playing Fairfield here at home, and we had got beaten by Fairfield at their place earlier in the season, and the girls felt like we gave that game away, and they told me they really wanted this one here at home, so we played them at home. We played one of our best games that night, and I kind of joked with them. I said when they played that good, they made me look like a genius out there, and that's kind of how I felt about getting this award. When you got the talent that I had this year and the dedication from the girls, and they love the sport, and they want to be good, and they worked hard every day to get better in practice, and it showed in the games. And So they made me look good every night, and that, I think, kind of helped me to win this award. But so I give a lot of the credit to the girls. But we did have a good season and got a chance to go and compete in a regional that we had a chance to win, and that was a fun experience and brought that home to the school, and that definitely made for an exciting season.
Well, Jason, we've been talking a little bit all morning about the challenges of coaching high school sports and the expectations and the demands and those kinds of things on that. So when you're able to have a special team and win awards like this, it has to be a special moment in your coaching career.
Yeah, it is. It's always nice to be honored by your peers, no matter what you do, and to be recognized. And I've been hard on myself because I've been coaching for 9 years and I hadn't won a regional, and I've had some good teams, some talented girls over the years. And we had a year we were 26-3, and another one we were 24-7, and would get to that regional and play a team like Benton at the time when they were in the same class as us, and they would go to state, or we'd play Edwards County and they'd go to state, or play Fairfield for the 5th time, and I just couldn't get out of that regional. So, it's definitely was great to get that regional this year and win it, and it just made everything kind of come together, and I think it made for a great season. And then, we played a lot of the teams this summer, and I didn't think we were really clicking this summer, and I think a lot of people saw us get better over the season, come in and be real competitive in every game that we played, and I think that helped to earn us a lot of respect too. But I feel like we've kind of gotten to the point here at Hamilton County for volleyball that we are pretty respected. I think whenever a team plays us, they know that you're going to get a tough game. I think it's one of those teams where we go in and the coach tells their team, hey, Hamilton County's always tough at volleyball, so you got to be ready. So I hope that's true. I think it is, and I hope that continues. I think it's going to the next few years.
Teresa Golden just finished up a junior high season down there where those young ladies had a lot of success, and that's got to be a pretty good feeling for you being the varsity coach.
Yeah, it does, definitely. Joking with Clint Weinmiller, the Lady Fox basketball coach the other day, I said, we just keep getting lucky. I mean, if you look down this 7th and 8th grade group and even down into the 6th and 5th graders, we've just got girls coming, talented, athletic girls that don't just play one sport, but play multiple sports. And so, yeah, I can see our program's reloading over the next few years here, and it looks very positive for each of us. And these girls are hard workers. I've got girls that minute volleyball practice would get out, they go hit softballs.
Yeah.
Or, I had some girls that the minute volleyball got out, they got a basketball out, they were shooting some basketball.
Right.
And they want to be successful at everything they do, and it shows in our programs.
Well, at a small school like Hamilton County, for all the teams to be successful, you have to have your athletes compete in every sport for every sport to be successful. And I commend you guys for being able to share those girls and those girls' programs because the girls are pretty strong. And speaking of strong, I got a young lady coming on here in just a little bit. You'll want to stay around and listen. I think she'd like to challenge you in a free throw shooting contest.
Yeah.
I would say she'd probably win, too, with no problem. She did an amazing job. That's great to see that at her age and to see all the success she's had.
Yeah.
And encourages the other kids that age, too.
Well, Jason, don't you believe, go back to your volleyball team, don't you believe that that winning just breeds winning, and when you've had the success down there that you've had, those younger girls see that. I mean, they want to be part of that Lady Fox's program, too. They want to fit right in, and they want to be a Lady Fox and play volleyball. And the same thing at the basketball level down there.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. We had about a run of about 4 or 5 years in a row where we had 20-plus win seasons, and then volleyball, that's a very successful season. And you could see the interest growing. You could see more and more little girls showing up to watch our games, younger sisters. That we've got a few right now at the junior high level even that I've coached their older sisters, and you can tell that they've worked at the sport and that they want to be as good as their sisters, and so the program grows. And Teresa down at that junior high level, she's having 40, 45 girls try out every year, and
wow,
that definitely shows the interest in that program, and I know that Coach Weimler's seen the same thing in basketball, and we've got multiple travel softball teams around here as well. There's interest in that, so that helps when they see their high school teams are successful, and that the girls work hard and have a good time out there playing and want to play. It breeds success at the younger ages too.
Well, and that all goes back to coaching and building the excitement in your program, and the way the students got involved with that cheering section following your team this year. It's just a great thing for the whole school system when there's success.
Yeah, that was very touching to see that this year. The kids, we've been very blessed in the years that I've been coaching. We've had good cheering sections, but this year was just amazing, and there's kids are still talking about it. They're ready for volleyball to start next year. They want to get back to that. They had more fun at that than anything, I'm telling you. And that's just great memories for the kids and for the girls, and it's exciting. And I had other coaches talk about it, and it was a fun time.
Well, Jason, want to congratulate you on your honor. A coach always hears all the bad things, so it's nice to hear some good things, and it's nice to be rewarded for your efforts. I commend you on the job you do down there. You provide great leadership for those young ladies, and the community appreciates what you do.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that, and I love my job. And I've always said I love being a Fox. I have since I was a young kid, and if it continues now, and I just love to see our program succeed. And I appreciate that. It was a nice honor. It's nice to be recognized by your peers. And I also want to send out congratulations. I know you just got done talking to Terry Ott, but he did a great job with that program. I sat by him the other night and watched him get his award, so I want to send out congratulations to him as well.
Certainly. All right. Well, Jason, again, thanks for joining us this morning on the Sports Couch. Congratulations, and enjoy your weekend, okay?
Okay, thank you. It's always
all
a
right.
pleasure.
You bet. Bye-bye. Jason Hall, volleyball coach at Hamilton County, being honored again with All-South honors as the volleyball coach of the year. And again, Terry Odd, the All-South golf coach of the year. And great to have both of them on the show this morning, and both to be from Hamilton County, and that speaks well.
Yeah, two good programs right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, when we come back, we're going to be joined by some people in studio, not on the phone, but in studio, and this is going to be fun. Rayci Phelps is going to join us next, and wait till you hear what she has done. And we've got some hardware here to show you, too. Some trophies.
she's brought some of her hardware along.
Yeah.
She needs to be extremely proud of.
Absolutely. Her and her parents are both going to join us coming up here on the Sports Couch when we return after these messages from our underwriting sponsors. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss it. We'll be right back.
It's the local sports talk show that everyone is talking about. It's the Sports Couch on 90.9 The Vine and AreaSports.net.
Hamilton County Flooring on the south side of the square in McLeansboro offers a full line of flooring, cabinets, and countertops for your home or business. Countertops or showers are available in granite, quartz, corian, custom marble, or ceramic tile. Their showroom includes a complete line of flooring available in ceramic tile, cork, bamboo, hardwood, vinyl, laminate, and carpeting, including name brands such as Armstrong, Bruce, Marazzi, Mulligan, Shaw, and Tarkett. We thank Hamilton County Flooring in McLeansboro for their support.
Prominent Technologies in McLeansboro is an underwriting supporter of The Vine. Chad May and Prominent Technologies specialize in computer and laptop repair, IT system upgrades, virus protection software, digital security camera installation, and on-location consulting. Prominent Technologies are computer problem solvers, and they have a long list of satisfied customers. Their phone number is 643-7114, and they are located just north of the square in McLeansboro.
105.5 and 90.9 The Vine thanks Wibbles Repair and Sales in McLeansboro for their monthly underwriting support of local Christian radio. They repair small engines and ag equipment, and they sell small engine parts, including oil filters and belts. They have agriculture aftermarket parts, interstate batteries, big truck parts, and truck lighting. As Steel and Husqvarna dealers, they offer a wide variety of chainsaws, trimmers, and cut-off saws. Whipple's Repair and Sales in McLeansboro. Their phone number, 618-648-2227. Open Monday through Friday, Saturdays till noon.
105.5 and 90.9 The Vine is thankful for the ministry partnership with Country Bob's All-Purpose Sauce in Centralia. Country Bob's product line includes the original all-purpose sauce, seasoning salt, barbecue sauce, spicy all-purpose sauce, honey habanero, apple chipotle, and marinara. Country Bob's is located on U.S. Highway 51 south of Centralia and can be reached by calling 800-373-2140.
And welcome back to the Sports Couch here live on a Saturday morning on 105.5 and 90.9 The Vine Radio. And also streaming live worldwide on both of our websites. Live video streaming at AreaSports.net and live audio streaming at WVYN.org. I'm Randy Olson live in studio along with Danny Anselment. And Danny, we've got some very, very special guests in studio with us. Why don't you do the honors here, huh?
All right. Yes, we have the Phelps family. We got Roger here to my right, his wife Chastity, and then the celebrity of their family, Rayci, has joined us here this morning, and she is competing in the hoop shoot contest that started back at Eastside Grade School, and now she's advanced to Chicago, Illinois, coming up next month.
That's incredible. And not just competing, but advancing and doing some incredible shooting. And look at all this hardware they brought in today.
Yeah, looks to me like they may have to add on the house down there just to keep track of trophies.
Yeah, Roger, are you busy building a trophy case now or what?
Well, not yet.
Well, let me get my phone. There you go. Let me get that up. There you go.
We're going to be in the process. Hopefully, for too long, maybe we can just build a whole new house, and then we're just going to make one room for all this stuff.
All right. Okay.
Well, Chastity, talk a little bit about this success and where it started and some of the stops on your adventure. I know me and you talked about this a little bit, and it's pretty impressive how this is all playing out.
Right. She started in the PE class. They asked if the kids want to participate, and if they do, they can. Well, of course, Rayci wanted to. This started back in November. From there, she advanced on. She had went to the local hoop shoot, which takes place in the high school gym. And from there, she advanced, making 16 out of 25, I think, is what we decided she had made. So from there, she went on to the district, which was January 14th. She went to Salem. There was 10 shooters there. She made 20 out of 25. Advancing from there, she went to the state, which was held in Decatur. That was on February 25th. She had made 23 out of 25. She made 8 out of 10, and then she had made 8 out of 15.
No, 15 out of 15.
Oh, 15 out of 15.
Yeah, now let's talk about that a little bit. That's pretty amazing. Out of the first round, she makes 8 out of 10. Then she comes back and makes 15 out of 15. That's a pretty tough feat right up there to step up there and make 15 out of 15.
Yeah, because after the first round, she was in second place, and I think it was shooter number 7 was ahead of her. And she had went up there, and she had made her 15 out of 15. And then I think the girl had missed like her 4th shot or something, and Rayci ended up pulling ahead of her for the win.
There at Decatur, she was also the top female of all girls that shot there of all age levels, correct?
She was, with making the 23 out of 25. We didn't even realize that this had even existed. And another local hoop shoot contestant from the past years had said, hey, she may be top female shooter. And we were like, really? And she's like, yeah, with making that many. So then when we got there and at the award ceremony, she did. She had won it.
Well, that this has to be a pretty amazing run, and we're not near finished with where this is all going to here. But at this point in the stage, you're thinking, man, can this continue?
Well, yeah, I'm kind of like that myself, but I tell them at work, she's about to run me out of vacation days, and I'm not going to have any to go on vacation later. But I could lose them all just to be able to go and watch her do this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It has to be a special honor for you and his parents and family to see the success.
Mm-hmm. Well, I want to know how Rayci got to have so much interest in basketball and shooting basketball, and where she got those skills from. Is it from one or both of you? Or?
Yeah, it's from both of us.
Yeah.
I think whenever I was in high school, I was the point guard on the ball team.
Mm-hmm.
We ended up finishing third in state in 1991. And
right.
When she played, I think they always had a very good girls team when she played, and I think she ended up making it to the state 3-point shootout whenever she was in high school.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. Well, if you can you take that microphone off that stand? Let's let Rayci say a few words, if she will. All right, Rayci, what do you think about all this? You've been having fun?
Yeah.
Pretty exciting. Tell us how it feels to go up there and shoot that many free throws and make that many baskets.
Good.
Does it make you nervous when you're doing it, or you must have ice water in your veins?
Yeah.
You just go up there and just put them in, don't you?
Yeah.
I guess the crowds and things have just got bigger and bigger every time you go. There's got to be more people at each one of these events, hasn't there?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
How long have you been playing basketball? How long have you been shooting baskets?
I don't know.
How old were you, think, when you first started playing basketball? Do you remember?
No.
Just as long as you can remember, though, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think just about when she was able to walk, I think we had a goal somewhere. So.
Yeah. So do you shoot baskets with Mommy and Daddy, too?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Can you outshoot them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say she probably could, especially in front of all the people when they're watching. I'm not the person to get out and do something like that, and she gets out there and just acts like she's cool and collective and just does what she has to do.
Yeah. How much practicing goes on? How often do you practice? Do you shoot like every day?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay. Got to be a lot of hours, isn't it, Roger?
Yeah, I think she works at the east side at the school, and I think every day right after school at 3 o'clock they go in and shoot 25 free throws, just like they'd shoot them in one of the hoop shoots.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
And she's been making in the 20s about every time. We've never had a 25, but that's what we're shooting for in Chicago.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the next stop. It was the national level. Chastity, I think there was 3 regions there, correct?
Yep. Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and then we were Illinois.
So, folks, I mean, where we're shooting now, this isn't just 1 or 2 kids. This is quite a deal here.
Right, it really is.
So talk a little bit about how she performed up there.
All right, we went to Iowa City, Iowa on March 18th. That was the National Regional Hoop Shoot. We were Region 3. There were 4 shooters, like I said, 1 from each of the states I just mentioned. She got up there and she made her first 8 out of 10 again. She missed her first and her 7th shot. So then she got up there and she made another 15 out of 15.
That just blows me away. 15 out of 15.
I love it.
It's just phenomenal. It really is.
And also, she was the top female shooter at this level, correct?
Correct. She had made the 23 out of 25. The girl in the age group above her, she had also made 23 out of 25. So we weren't real sure what would happen. So at this point, we're waiting for the 12 and 13-year-old girls to shoot to see if she would beat both of them. Well, she ended up only making 19. So these 2 girls are tied for top female shooter. Rayci had already changed her clothes. She had her slides on. She had her windsuit on like she's got on today. And they said, okay, we're going to have a shoot-off. And they'd said, Rayci, you and the girl from Wisconsin was the girl who she shot against. Rayci just walked up there with her slides on and her windsuit on. She was ready to shoot. She was going to shoot like that. So they said, no, you've got to go change your shoes. So they gave her a minute. She changed her shoes, and they gave her 5 practice shots, her and the other girl both. She went up there, shot them. The other girl sat down, and I'm thinking, maybe Rayci's got one more. I wasn't real sure why she was still standing there, and they told her, nope, it's your time to shoot. So she really didn't have time to get nervous or anything like that. She stood up there, and she made her 5 out of 5. and went to sit down, and the guy beside us said, hey, this could go on for a while. In past years, they've shot 25 shots, in 5 increments. So the Wisconsin girl got up there, and she had made her first 4, and she missed her last shot. So Rayci had won.
All right. So now this takes you to where?
We go to Chicago on April 22nd. Rayci will shoot then. That's a Saturday. We will travel up on the Thursday, and they've got a practice day planned on the Friday before, and then a whole day planned for us to.
I'm sure the Elks Foundation does a lot of nice things for these kids. Don't they? Talk a little bit about that.
Oh, yes, they're just amazing. The local 1882 district out of McLeansboro, they have given us money every time that we've went. The other Elks, when we travel, they pay for the hotel. They give you gas money, food for us to eat while we're there. They've just been fantastic with everything.
Do they have entertainment and things like that lined up, or things they take you to, or just say, go have free time, or how's that handled?
They always have like a pool party or whatever. Like when we went to Decatur, they had a pool bash or whatever, and they had these drug balls. They would just say no to drugs or whatever, and basically played dodgeball back and forth in the pool. And then at Nationals, they had the pool, and then they had a little hospitality room there beside the pool. If you got hungry, you could just go. But they talk like Chicago, there'll be a trolley or whatever, or tram that will take you around to different locations in the city.
Great. Yeah.
So you'd be able to do a little sightseeing and things like that while you're there, and experience some more of the atmosphere.
Right.
Well, what a great deal. Also, last week when you came home, you had kind of a special ceremony.
We did. When we got there was a fire truck and a police car waiting for us.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, I bet Rayci liked that, didn't she? Yeah, she's smiling real big right now. What grade is she in now?
She's in the 3rd.
In the 3rd grade. 9 years old?
Yep.
Right? Okay,
9.
And shooting in the 8-9 division is what we're talking about, yeah.
Yes.
Which in the 8-9-year-old, they shoot 4 foot in front of the free throw line.
Okay,
So.
okay.
Right.
All right.
But, man, I tell you what, amazing. You just look at her. She's not a very big young lady.
No, she's not. She's not. She's still growing, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Just like you said with the Elks, this suit that she's got on here, she'd stand up here. This is what she got from winning at Decatur. And
Well,
then
how
when we
about
got to
that?
Iowa City, it's got all this on it. It's even got her name.
Well, that's awesome.
Over here, and that's what they gave her
Yeah.
for making it to.
That is awesome. How nice is that? Boy, it'll be an experience that she'll never forget. I'm sure she probably has some interest in playing some basketball in school as she gets older.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully.
Yep.
I think she's going to be a good shooter for the team, isn't she?
Well, while we're talking about that, Roger coaches the 6th grade girls in Hamilton County.
All right.
His travel teams just had some great success, and we're going to let him talk about that a little bit.
Let's do that. Absolutely.
Yeah, I've been fortunate enough to be able to coach my oldest daughter, Chaley's team, and in 5th grade, we ended the season at 16-4. We got 3rd place in the Marion tournament that year. Got 2nd place in the El Laredo tournament, losing to Marion. And then this past year in the 6th grade, we ended the season at 18-1, and we lost. Our only game was to Christopher. That they're going to be pretty salty in the future. They got a little girl in the 5th grade that was all conference on the 8th grade team this year, and she was pretty good. But like I said, I've just been fortunate enough to do this. I have a great group of girls and parents, but just all the kids' name that was on there this year was my daughter Chaley, Carson Belangi, Sydney Downing, Kaylee Karcher, Ellie Dean, Jessica Glenn, Haley Parker, Emily Brown, Elizabeth Weaver, Alex Coates, Ellery Wren, Mallory Millenbein, Aubrey Kaufman, and Brianna Blades. And like I said, I told these kids at the El Laredo tournament before our last game, I said, even though this is your last game, I said, your fun's just beginning. Because I said, we're going to get to setting watchings now. not half the coach, but I said, you'll be able to hear me from the stands. But I said, this group of girls is going to do good things here in Hamilton County for the next 6 years.
That is exciting. Very good for Lady Fox's sports moving forward. Yeah.
You know, that's what Jason Hall was just talking about.
Yeah.
When you look at these lower levels, some of the young ladies that come up, he's very excited because there's a lot of talent in that younger divisions, and it's just like he's just rebuilding and reloading. And but winning creates that atmosphere.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, winning breeds winning. It really does, because you have that positive attitude and you want to compete, and it's kind of built inside of you. And that's what we're seeing there among so many of the girls down at Hamilton County. So it's exciting.
Well, all three of us sitting here experienced some very good times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, talk about your playing days, Roger, because I know you probably don't want to toot your own horn, but, hey, you had a heck of a career. I know you did. So let's talk about that a little bit and what you remember about your playing days.
Oh, it's been so long ago. It's about forgetting everything. But like I say, whenever I was in high school, I think I started playing ball back whenever it was Dale School in Dale, Illinois, where I live.
Right.
And then I went through the junior high, made it into high school, and I think I played freshman year on the freshman team. And then my sophomore year, I started playing. I'd played some on the varsity and probably middle ways through the season. I think I finally, Coach Reed jerked me off the bench one night and said, "Here, you're going to be starting tonight." And I'm like, "Whoa, no!" As a sophomore, and I thought this might not be good. But from then on, I started, and I started for my next 3 seasons. We end up getting third in state that year, and in Class 1A, I think I was on the Lions Club All-Star team at Wren Lake, and then there used to be an all-star team that they had that used to be up around Newton, and I made that all-star team. And then after high school, I went to Wren Lake, just going to go to college, and I got over there and kind of got to going in the gym and shooting and playing, and some of the guys over there was like, "Hey, you ought to try to walk on," and I knew the coach, Mitch Haskins, at the time was there, and he come down, he's like, "Why don't you just try to walk on and make the team and you can play?" Well, I stayed around and I walked on. Well, just before the season started, we had a big blow up in the team, and a bunch of the kids kind of flew the coop. Well, I end up acquiring one of them scholarships. So I went, like I said, I got to go to school 2 years over there and got my schooling paid for.
Great.
And we wasn't the best in the world over there, but we played and had a lot of fun and met a lot of new people. And like I say, it's just been a great experience.
You were right place at the right time, weren't you?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, you really were. Yeah.
Well, her mother wasn't too shabby in her day either.
Let's hear about her playing days.
Like I said, I started at Dale too. We were both from the same area. Went through the junior high as a 7th grader. I played on the 8th grade team. We ended up making it to state that year. If I recall, I think we got 3rd. I'm not real sure. And then from then, we went on to high school. I never played on the freshman team. I started JV as a freshman.
Oh, okay.
And played some on the varsity, and then just as it grew, went on through the years. Then my senior year, we got beat out in regionals, but I advanced in the 3-point shootout. So we went to West Frankfort. I advanced from there in the sectional game, so I ended up making it to state. We went to Bloomington Normal and shot up there. And I ended up like 6th or something like that. And I went on to play volleyball at Wren Lake and walked on and got a scholarship there.
What an experience, though, to go to Bloomington and participate. Even though you got 6th place, what an experience that you had up there, I'm sure, right?
Yes, and it was a lot of the local girls or whatever, too, was up there. And, you made friends throughout the year just with different teams. You'd always see them at summer camps because you were there every other week or every weekend. So you made quite a few friends throughout the journey.
Sure.
Well, I'm sure along this experience with Rayci, there's been a lot of neat experiences there, and you've got to meet a lot of people from out different parts of the country, and it's got to be a pretty neat experience also.
Yeah. She's not the most talkative little girl in the world. She's kind of keeps to herself until she gets at home.
Short answers.
Yes.
Short one-word answers.
Yes, very. And after the contest up there at Iowa City, they wouldn't let you come back to your parents. You had to stay over there across the gym. They had like all 4 of them lined up, and she was talking to the girl beside her, and I thought, well, that such a neat experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Get exposure like that, and It makes you mature, yeah.
Right. That's kind of what I noticed that when we went to Decatur, it was kids from all over Illinois that was there shooting. There was one girl from Massac County. There was some from up in the north part of the state, and they was sitting at the table talking just like we are right now, like we've known each other all our lives, and they're thousands or hundreds of miles away from each other. And I guess the deal is after we got to kind of talking to everybody, these kids are some of them that makes it to the Elks Hoop Shoot every year as they advance in the age group, and that's how come they knew each other. And it was just a neat experience for that.
How about that? That is really special. Yeah. Well, I love the name Rayci, first of all, and that's spelled Rayci. Is that right? Okay, tell us how you came up with that name.
Right.
That's a neat name.
Well, the oldest daughter's got my initials, so the younger daughter had to have his initials, and so we just put an R in front of, instead of JC, it was Rayci.
Hey, that works. That works for me. But no, it's the first Rayci I've ever met, and I love the spelling, and what a special little girl you are. I say little, but what a special, big-hearted girl you are, and very, very talented. So we're excited that you're in here in the studio with us today, and excited to see what you're going to do when you go to Chicago. Yeah.
She's going to go win.
Absolutely.
We sure hope so.
That's what she said.
Absolutely. Where do you do that at in Chicago, by the way? Where do you go?
They said that we're staying somewhere right downtown in Chicago, and they're going to be shooting at the DePaul University girls' home court, wherever they play at up there. I'm not for sure where it is, but that's where we're going to be shooting. So it's going to be a little bigger atmosphere, I guess, as you say, because up there where we shot at Iowa City, we was just in it was a high school, I believe, but they had everybody kind of jammed in the gym kind of as close as you could get to the half-court line, so you wasn't at the end where you distracted the shooters. So everybody was kind of all right there, bunched together. And now I'm sure when we go up here, it's going to be something when they walk in. It's going to be it might be a little intimidating whenever she walks into it, but I don't think it'll bother.
Yeah. Now, do they use the girl-size basketball, too, in this competition?
Yes.
Okay, I thought they probably did.
Yeah, I think they use it for the 8 and 9-year-old, both the 8 and 9-year-old girls and the boys shoot with that smaller ball. And then at the 10 and 11-year-old boys, it goes up to the regular size ball for them.
15 out of 15, Danny. I just can't get over that in some of those situations. And 23 out of 25 and some others.
She's not taking advantage of this situation. I've been sitting here thinking about this.
Yeah.
When coaches and things like this, they have put on these little clinics and they charge you a fee. She needs to start going to these high school teams and start showing them how to shoot free throws, or maybe these grade school teams. Go in and teach them a little expertise on
there you go.
free throw shooting. I was going to total this up, the total of this run, but 20 out of 25, 23 out of 25, 23 out of 25. I think she performs under pressure. The bigger the pressure, the more she makes.
That's what it seems like. Does she like to watch basketball on TV, too? Does she watch any basketball on television?
She watches some, yeah.
Particularly girls' basketball? I mean, does she follow any of that or not?
She tries to follow Tyra Bus, but it seems like every time it's on our TV channel, Tyra doesn't ever do too good when we're watching. But
okay. They're still alive, too. They are in the third round now, I think, of the WNIT, and she had another good game the other night, and so the Indiana Lady Hoosiers with Tyra Bus are doing very, very well in the WNIT. So,
and she was one of them that went through the hoop shoot, I believe, every year, I think, that she could participate.
Yeah, and then in high school she made it up there to the finals, too. So, and we see what it's done for her with a great college education that she's been able to get, and she loves playing the game. She really does.
I think that's kind of what I hope that's what happens to her, because I think we got home Sunday night from all the festivities, and we got home there probably 7:30 or 8 o'clock from her mom and dad's, and she went and took a shower, and where'd she go? She went to the hallway to the basketball goal on the door.
Yeah, how about that? Well, Roger, maybe next year, if you've got any vacation left, maybe you guys can schedule a day to go to Bloomington, Indiana, and go to an Indiana Lady Hoosiers game and allow Rayci to meet Tyra, because Tyra is very open about meeting young ladies and talking to them, particularly after a game, and be able to have a conversation with them. And what a great experience that would be, don't you think, Danny?
Yeah, we might even try to get involved and get that set up.
Yeah, we could probably help get that set up.
We got a little bit of inside connection there.
Yeah, we know her parents real well, and interviewed her brother and her dad several times here on the show, so we could maybe help make that happen for you. But that would be exciting to connect those two together, I think.
Especially both of them have the same experience in common. They both went through the Elks Hoop Shoot. You know?
Absolutely.
It'd be nice for them two to talk about that.
Right. And I don't know if she ever won or not. Did she ever win the whole thing? Or?
You know, I don't know. It would be something to research and find out. I know in high school I thought she was like the runner-up or something. Wasn't she get like second place, I think?
You know.
At the IHSA thing in high school. But I don't know as far how far she got in the Elks Hoop Shoot. I know she went a long way. But
she was, I guess what I remember when I got introduced to Tyra Buss was over at the junior high state tournament.
Okay.
The Mount Carmel team was playing over there. And they won on a Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
And they were going to come back and play for the championship on Monday. And some people they was rushing around, and I said, "Where's this?" They said, "Oh, they got to catch their flight in St. Louis because they're flying to San Diego." And she was competing in the punt, pass, and kick competition. And she flew out there at the Super Bowl and competed in. She finished runner-up out there in that, flew back to Illinois on Sunday night, and led her team to the state championship on Monday night.
Yeah, pretty amazing. Yeah, it really is. Does Rayci have any interest in other sports besides basketball?
Yeah, she plays softball for a traveling team right now. She plays for the Fireball Foxes, and they're supposed to have their first game tomorrow if it doesn't get rained out.
Okay.
I bet she's excited about that also.
Oh, yeah. She's one of the younger ones on the team, but still in the same age group to be able to play with them. And she currently plays short, and then she's been working on pitching all winter, so hopefully she'll get some pitching in.
All right.
Well, I bet her classmates are really excited about this, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. They had signs on the door when she got back. They had balloons at her desk. And
how exciting. That's great.
And the Dahlgren grade school, I want to thank them. The 3rd and 4th grade all made Rayci cards and brought them to her. That was...
How about that?
Yeah.
Well, that's special, too. That is really, really nice. Well, fantastic. Well, we want to thank all of you for coming in today to the Vine Studios and being with us on the Sports Couch. It's been really, really nice to meet you, Rayci, and we want to, again, congratulate you and wish you best of luck when you go to Chicago, all right? And keep shooting and keep making them, all right? Absolutely. I think that you will. And guys, we appreciate you coming in. And
well, thanks for having us.
So neat to see all this, the trophies and the hardware, and just to be able to share in the story. What a great story, Danny.
What a story.
It is. And I hope that it continues on and we can add to the story.
Well, maybe we can be back in a
yeah. We'd definitely like that to happen.
That would be fun. All right. Well, I think we are about out of time, but we want to thank everybody for coming on the show again today on the Sports Couch. And again, thanks to all of our sponsors who have made it possible as well. We'll be back next Saturday morning at 8:30 for another 90 minutes of great local sports talk. It is the Sports Couch here live on 90.9 The Vine and on AreaSports.net. Have a great weekend, everyone. So long. Your station for the Casting Crowns concert on Good Friday, April 14th at the SIU Arena in Carbondale. This is WVYN, Blueford, Wayne City, Fairfield, McLeansboro, and Mount Vernon.
And now on Translator, W288CO Centralia, broadcasting at 105.5.
A service of Real Life Radio Foundation.
The best Christian music, 90.9